Tacitus, who is considered one of the more accurate historians of the ancient world, mentioned superstitious Christians who suffered under Pontius Pilate.
Well, there's a slight caveat you have to put with Tacitus here, because while Tacitus is generally considered to be a good historian, that does not mean that what he says about Jesus in his works was not informed by the Gospels in some kind of fashion. And in fact, Robert Van Voorst, a Christian scholar, a New Testament scholar, he agrees with me on this. Just to emphasize how not even New Testament Christian scholars, who I would normally consider to be very biased, don't even use Tacitus to prove that Jesus existed in history, or at least they shouldn't. Here's Robert Van Voorst's opinion on the evidence of Tacitus. Does this testimonium tacitium therefore provide definitive evidence of the existence of Jesus? If we could be certain that Tacitus's account was based on non-Christian sources, the answer would be yes. But as we have seen, such independent knowledge is unverifiable. As R.T. France concludes, while the evidence from Tacitus corroborates the New Testament accounts of the death of Jesus, by itself it cannot prove that events happened as Tacitus had been informed, or even the existence of Jesus. This latter, France correctly argues, has abundant persuasive evidence in the New Testament. Tacitus, careful historian that he was, presumed the existence of Jesus and had no reason to doubt it. So, as you can tell, Robert Van Voorst, New Testament scholar, somebody that I disagree with heavily in his book, Jesus Outside the New Testament, agrees that this information from Tacitus is not independent of the New Testament Gospels. So, declaring him to be this sort of independent account, which is what this video is insinuating here, is just dishonest. Because Tacitus, wherever he got his information from, would have been information from the Gospels, because Tacitus was writing in the 2nd century, and he was pen pals with Pliny the Younger. Pliny the Younger could have informed him about these beliefs of the Christians, and he could have written that down in his document. The important point here is that he's in the 2nd century, and he's informed by the current community of Christians that exist, which include the Gospels. And at the point in time when Tacitus was writing, there probably would have been access to at least 3 of the Gospels that were floating around the Christian community. I'm not saying, and just to explicitly stress this, I'm not saying that Tacitus used the Gospels to inform himself on this. I'm saying that the Christian community at large, either directly or indirectly, informed Tacitus. And that makes Tacitus not independent. And that's if you don't even want to go through the rigmarole of doubting whether or not Tacitus wrote this portion, which there is a very solid argument to say that he didn't even write that. For one thing, where it's mentioned with this Chrestus or Chrestus, it was actually originally Chrestus, and he called them the Christians. A lot of people want to say that this is a common misspelling that was purposefully done to denigrate this group of people. I haven't really found any good evidence for this. Misspellings often did happen, but in more vulgar works. Not that these works were like cursing all the time, but just in a simpler writing style or a simpler understanding of writing in general. But to say that Tacitus was, writing vulgar stuff instead of being this, very exquisite historian that they all claim he was, is a bit of cherry picking. Because you can't say that he's the best historian, but he also wrote like shit. I feel like if you're the best historian, then you're going to communicate in the best way that you can or that exists at that time. So don't fall for the cherry picking thing about that. You can also take out the portion of Tacitus that talks about when he was crucified and all this other stuff. You can take that out and the rest of the passage flows seamlessly, which isn't proof that it wasn't there, but it's definitely an indication of a possible interpolation. And coupled with the fact that all of this information is found in the Gospels, it would be very easy for somebody to insert this into Tacitus's work. Let's not even mind that argument because we don't need it. Tacitus was not an independent account of Jesus. He was definitely informed by the New Testament information. That literally means that you can't add it to your list of secular sources for Jesus.